Wouldn't it be nice if you could provision computer accounts inside of your Active Directory, especially in a virtual machine type environment, and have those devices spin up and join that domain without a reboot? That's what offline domain join is all about. Speaking of joining, join me in this hands-on lab nugget as we demonstrate this feature. Now, we won't actually have a virtual machine environment in which to demonstrate this feature, but I want to take you through the command structure that you would be using. So let's jump onto DCNUG1, let's log in, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to a command prompt, because the command that we're going to use is the domain join or djoin command. So at our command prompt, we're going to type djoin, and we're going to provision the computer account in the Active Directory domain. And we provide the domain of nuggetlab.com. And then what we're going to do is literally provision the machine client-nug. And finally, we're going to save file information for this process in C:\\, we'll just call it C1. So notice, we provision the computer. We now have a client nug in the Active Directory, nuggetlab.com, and we've got the information that would be needed on like a virtual machine that we're going to spin up in a text file called C1. Now, as you might guess, we're going to slide over to our client NUG1 machine, and let's log in over there. And notice we're logging in as a local user account. Obviously not a domain user account, because we haven't done that yet. And what we're going to do over there is grab that file that we created off of the domain controller. So to do that, let's do whack, and we'll do 192.168.1.100. And we will do the administrator share of the C drive. There's that C1 file that we created. We're going to copy that and we're going to dump it onto the root of the C drive on this local client. Now we're ready to go ahead and jump into an administrator command prompt and use our djoin command over here on the client. We will request an offline domain join. We will load the file C1. Let's do C:\\C1. There we go. We will provide a Windows path of system root. And finally, we will do this for the local OS. Now, please understand that while we just provisioned this device, notice we have to reboot. That's because our device is online. If we were doing this with a virtual machine, it would literally be provisioned to join on the initial spin up. And that's really how you want to take advantage of this feature. But in our case, we're just kind of going through the syntax and showing you this on a system that is literally on the network and is not a virtual machine. So what you would do now is right-click, restart, and when you reboot this client, you will find that it can join the domain nuggetlab.com. So in this nugget, we stepped through the djoin utility and we saw how we could use this to create an offline domain join. This is critical in virtual machine type environments where we want to spin up virtual machines we provisioned and have them join the domain without a reboot. I hope you found this nugget informative, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.